And now it's time to hear from our laureates. And to help keep the conversation moving, we are excited to welcome Peter Harrison, morning host on Move 100. Peter has been a fixture on morning radio in Nova Scotia for more than 3 decades. His career has allowed him the opportunity to broadcast from locations around the world and has brought him face-to-face with celebrities such as Katy Perry, Kevin Hart, Bill Clinton, and Sidney Crosby. Peter is a proud Nova Scotian, avid music and sports fan, and lives in Waverley with his wife and best friend, Gisela. Please join me in welcoming Peter to the stage.
I won't make you wait any longer. Nice to see you. Great job and congratulations on being inducted into the Business Hall of Fame. It's Laureates. You're well-deserved recognition of all that you've done so far. So let me sit down. This is only going to take just a few minutes, I promise, because as someone said, it's past their bedtime. It's past my bedtime too. So we're just going to do things a little bit differently than what has happened in the past, and that is a series of questions that we'd like to ask you, and give us all an opportunity to learn more about you, some of the high points, maybe some of the low points too, who knows, and also to learn. I know that there are many people out there who are on your level in the room. Obviously, there are other laureates who are here in the room, and they have accomplished great things in business. There are other folks who are currently accomplishing great things in business, and others who may be just a little bit unsure of what's going to happen in the next little while. So we're going to offer a little bit of information for all of them. Please, by the way, stick around afterwards because we're going to have our 50-50 draw and do all that sort of thing. But let me also just add to the congratulations to our hosts tonight, to Catherine and Emma. Yes, you are doing a great job. The question I want to start off with, and I'll start with Thane, if I can. There are points, I imagine, in every entrepreneur's life when they're wondering, is this going to work? Is this actually going to allow me to make the living that I thought that I was going to be able to make in business? And I'm looking for that point in your business lives. It'll move down the row here in just a little bit. But first to Thane, where you thought, yeah, actually, this is going to work. And your business is a little different in as much as you came into a business that was well established and kind of grew up in that business as well. But that point when you said, yeah, this is actually going to work, what was that for you?
Yes, so we, a little different than Jim and Mike, we didn't start a business. We were the third generation in the business, and at that point you kind of, you're told that only 12% of you succeed at that point. Mm-hmm. So my brother and I were put our heads down and said we have to keep going, but we got a few debts to pay off, and we gotta get things to go. But I think really for me, probably the time that that it felt like we got somewhere or made it was the point that we're at now, which is we're ready to go to the fourth generation. So so we're ready to. Next year, I think the transition will begin, and the pressure will be on them. It was 12% for us to be successful. I think it's 3% for them. So, I don't know if we're given a gift of life or not, but we really look. We joke about those numbers, but we're just super pleased to have. Right now, we have 4 in the business for the next generation, and we're really pleased with what they have to offer, and we know that they're going to be able to beat the market in the decades to come. And that's really, till then, I really wasn't sure.
Okay. Till like last week, then, is what you're saying. Okay, good. I'm just to kind of veer off from the questions just for a second, but now you say you're moving into the 4th generation in the business, and I'm sure many of us have heard that, someone starts it way back, the 2nd generation takes it over, but by the time it reaches the 3rd generation, that's when often things tend to go off the rails. That was your generation. Didn't happen. So when did you start planning for this next generation of succession?
I think the next generation would say forever ago, but no, it's probably been about 3 or 4 years. It's certainly I think we've made a simplistic process, but I've never seen something so complicated that's so simple. So, but it's been 3 or 4 years, lots of meetings, lots of discussions, and I think if you check with the next generation, they're wondering what's taking so long. So, you know, that's a good sign.
And do you plan to hang around a little bit? You're going to be there for a while as this next generation takes on the task?
I guess that won't really be my call, probably.
Okay.
As long as they're paying the bills.
As long as you keep getting paid,
Yeah.
you'll be there. Jim Mills, someone at the table asked me as you came up and they were unveiling the beautiful artwork. I said, "Are you two related?" I said, "No, but we share a barber." As it turns out, full disclosure, I've known Jim for 40 years plus, maybe 43, 44 years, because we were in student government together back at Acadia University. At that time, he was looking after the finances of the Students' Council at Acadia, and I was looking after the publicity, and really nothing has changed. Not a thing has changed. But now you're talking about building your business from the ground up, really, in the business that you chose to invest your entrepreneurial skills in. When did you know that, hey, this is actually going to work?
Well, I think before I answer that question, in full disclosure, I have to do a quick shout out to my biggest cheerleader who's here tonight, my wife, Leilani. Today is actually her birthday, and it's our anniversary. So I just want to try to embarrass her just a little bit.
Is this in lieu of an actual gift that you can shout this out here? Take her to dinner and then have this said in front of a big crowd?
Take her to dinner with 600 people. How good is that?
The moment you thought, actually, was there a moment when you said, yeah, this is actually going to work?
Yeah, I think, that's for me, that's a hard question to answer. There are little moments along the way when I think you think you're doing some things right, but I think most entrepreneurs would say that there's never a moment when you think you've made it. Everything is always a work in progress, and if you think about growth, you're always sort of thinking about what's next, and there are certain there's some moments. We do a company retreat every 5 years for all our members for a weekend. You're at those retreats. We have one coming up next spring. Those are fun to reflect that you've got such a great team, you've had success, and so on. But I would say, I think most days you're kind of worried about what's going to happen that day, next week. How do you get the next deal done, and so on. So it's sort of for me at least, it's a never-ending process.
Mm-hmm. Mike, is that a question you can answer? From what I can see, you've been involved in many different entrepreneurial explorations.
Yeah, I have, Peter. But I think Jim set the bar pretty high here now, so I have to acknowledge my wife of 50 years. And Beth and my 6 children are all here tonight, and my brother, so it's a big night for me. Yeah, I took a different route. My route was I got involved in businesses that weren't going as well as they should be going, and tried to make them better. And so, you jump in with both feet there. You don't know really what you're going to get into. There was a common theme in all of them. I was surprising, which none of them had a plan. Nobody knew what they were doing. Nobody knew where they were going, so they didn't know how they were going to get there. So my first job was to develop a plan, to sort of take a landscape of what's going on there, and try to get the people on board and get them involved in developing that plan. And once the plan started to take shape, then I felt pretty confident that we were on the right track.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I'm not sure what that rule applies to in science, but when it comes to business, was there a business that you couldn't help? You couldn't save? You were in the business saving
No.
business?
No.
Nothing. Not a thing.
No, every business is worth saving.
Apparently the Bay didn't come to you.
Yeah, I stayed away from the ones that I couldn't save.
Aha.
That was
That's the key to success.
that was the key to success. It was. But I think that that there was a lot of surprises along the way, though. I mean, when you get involved in something that's created by someone else, and it's not going as well as people would hope, then you get surprised, and you think you know what the problem is, but once you get in there, there's always a lot more things that you uncover. And then that's when the real metal, when your foot hits the metal and you say, okay, we're here now. We loaded ourselves up with debt to buy this thing, and we've got to make it work.
One way or the other.
So away we go.
Is there a common personality trait of successful entrepreneurs?
Jim said hard work. I think you have to definitely be prepared to work hard, and you have to have good people. There's no question. So I think that's common in all businesses.
That equal and opposite reaction thing, Jim, was there a moment in your entrepreneurial careers where you said, no, actually this isn't going to work? And I ask that because I'm sure that a lot of people in this room have faced that precipice and wondered whether or not next year they'd be doing the same thing, or 5 years from now. Was there a moment for you like that where you thought, oh man, I'm not sure if I picked the right business to go into?
Yeah, I think there's probably quite a few moments that thought crossed my mind. In the early years, a couple of times we were hard against it to make payroll, and missing payroll, as I think most people in the room would know, is not a confidence builder for your team. And I remember a couple times I went to a customer and did my best to get an advance on a job to be able to make payroll. But I think the biggest, the one moment that sticks out in my mind is during the pandemic. And, April of 2020, when things shut down, that was, for me, that was a scary moment. I wondered if, almost 30 years of work was going to go sideways, worried about my team. I tell my team that during the first 30 days of the shutdown, I had more sleepless nights. And when I say sleepless, I didn't sleep a minute than I had in my entire life. So, those moments come, and you have to deal with it, and you have to be there for your team and get through it. So that would be for sure the most difficult few weeks of my business career.
Yeah. Thane, was there, it doesn't have to be COVID, but was there a COVID moment for you? Was there a moment when you thought, this Stevens group of companies, I'm not sure if it's going to be around for the next generation?
Yeah, COVID's recent enough to still have those memories. And I remember when, it hit and we were all isolated and the rules really weren't known. You weren't really knew what you were allowed to do. And I think you weren't allowed to have anyone at the office, and so I went to the office. But I was the only one in the office, and for about 3 days. And it really, for a place that has 50 people in it, bustling around, being the only person in the office really gave you some quiet time to reflect on what was happening, what was going to happen, what kind of impact it was going to have. And how long is this thing that we don't even know about go? So there's no question COVID really, put on a bigger, deeper thinking cap. I don't know if any better thoughts came out, but, it really stretched you in terms of, the possibilities that were going to come at you.
How long did the building business, you're out there building great buildings, how long did the building business pause for COVID?
great things for our business. It's terrible. The COVID was terrible on businesses, and what they found out was our business, you worked outside, so you didn't have to really isolate. And so after about 3 weeks of total turmoil, not knowing what you could do, two guys trying to do work inside that you can't be within 10 feet of him, but he had to hold the thing that guy had to hold, so yeah, you had to get really long arms, so but otherwise we found that we could move to outside, and as long as the guys were spread out over the site, so it ended up being that we could continue work. That wasn't because we were good or the industry was good. That was a bit of luck in a bad luck situation, so it worked out pretty well.
This is a big fundraiser for JA. I'm going to ask Mike, Jim, Thane, advice to our junior achievement folks who are here with us, to other people who might just be starting as entrepreneurs. One piece of advice, if you could pass along about doing business here in Nova Scotia and what it takes to be successful. Mike, Brien, I'll start with you.
I think that, first of all, just get out and talk to people. Put the phone down for a change, and put the computer to sleep, and go out and meet some people. And as I mentioned in my little thing there, that it's important to have some people around you that you can trust and you can speak to about your business. They don't necessarily have to be in your business. So I think having some sort of a mentor program is really beneficial to especially young entrepreneurs right now.
Jim?
Before I answer that, I also need to do a quick shout out to my 4 kids, and my 6 siblings are all here tonight. We have a big family. I'm very proud of them. I think for the junior achievers here, as I said in my video, business is hard and you have to work hard. So you might as well sort of get used to that. But we need, in this region, I love entrepreneurs. I love mentoring young entrepreneurs. This region needs more entrepreneurs, more risk takers. So, I would encourage the junior achievers to have a big dream, chase that dream, work hard. If it doesn't work on the first instance, pivot, do the next thing. Our region, and by region I mean Atlantic Canada, we need more entrepreneurs, we need more risk takers, we need to build wealth in our region. We have so many opportunities, so that's what I would say. How many junior achievers here tonight? Show of hands.
Way at the back, hi.
Awesome. Well, tell all your friends the same thing.
Yeah. Peter, just
get going.
Just one thing, Peter, is a little bit of a commercial, but and Jim's right. I think that we need more entrepreneurs, and I work with a number of entrepreneurs, a terrific young group of people who have some fantastic ideas. The problem is they spend an inordinate amount of time trying to raise capital, and it's taken away from their ability to commercialize their product. So the government is doing things to help, but not enough. And banks are not doing enough to help these young guys. So I think that these people have to have the time to spend on commercializing their product, and raising funds is going to the same doors at all the same people. It's just not happening for them. So we need your help.
Thane?
Well, I should take a moment and do a shout out because I haven't done one, but I'll just shout out to everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah. Is that okay?
Is that your advice?
No. My advice, a couple little tidbits that I would give him, simple things. We spend a lot of time to make a decision and determine your direction, what you're going to do. And my advice is do that, but be prompt about it. Make a decision and go with it. Don't delay. Think about it, whatever. I think at some point you have to cut and go. A lot of times I usually go down the wrong path. My brother says, you're down the wrong path. You can get down the right path before the other person that hasn't made the decision, So I think sometimes that's an important thing. So What was number 2, Peter? I had a second one. Yeah,
No, that was it.
that was it.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's the second part of the question for me. Anybody else celebrating a birthday, anniversary, would like to shout out their family? This is the opportunity. No? Okay, we're good. To our laureates, congratulations on amazing lives, amazing careers, amazing families, your plans for the future, and please keep doing exactly what you're doing. We need you. We need your businesses and your business acumen. And it's been a pleasure to be here. So.